They say silence is louder than words. I learned that the day I opened my door to an empty driveway. Balloons tied to the gate. A table of food waiting. Lights glowing warmly inside the house I had bled 7 years of my life to buy. Not a single car pulled in. Not a single knock on the door. But later, my mother posted a photo of herself raising a glass, captioned, "Proud of our boy's first home," smiling, toasting, pretending, as if she'd been there, as if the family hadn't decided, together, to humiliate me. I used to believe family stood behind you. That belief kept me pushing through double shifts, second jobs, nights where sleep was a stranger. Every brick in this house carried the weight of sacrifice, mine alone. When I first told my parents I was saving for a house, my mother smiled, my father nodded. They encouraged me, told me to be practical, to not expect too much too soon. And when I finally closed the deal, I thought the moment would bring us closer, that they would celebrate my victory like their own. But celebration wasn't what they had in mind. The signs were there, the delayed replies in the family group chat, my sister avoiding the subject of the house, my mother's lukewarm "we'll see" when I reminded her about the party. It didn't click then. I was too focused on decorating, cleaning, planning. The evidence only hardened when I saw my mother's post hours later. She hadn't been here. None of them had. Yet she broadcasted her lie, collecting likes and comments from her friends, parading pride in a son she couldn't be bothered to stand beside. That was the moment something shifted inside me. Not rage, not tears. A cold, deliberate stillness. I knew better than to scream, beg, or confront. That would only feed them, give them the spectacle they secretly craved. No, if they wanted to pretend, then I would hand them a performance worth remembering. I began small. Every photo of the house I posted was carefully staged. The rooms always spotless. The lighting perfect. I made sure their friends, their colleagues, saw what they had ignored. The proud comments rolled in, comments they couldn't claim credit for. Then I stopped answering family calls, declined invitations. When my sister texted about a quick favor, I left her unread. When my mother asked if she could host her book club in my spacious new living room, I told her the truth. I don't open my doors for strangers anymore. It wasn't enough to cut them out. I wanted them to feel what I had felt. Emptiness, invisibility, abandonment. The plan unfolded slowly. First, I sold the family heirlooms they had once sworn were ours. The china set, the grandfather clock, the old paintings. Items gathering dust in my father's basement where they had been forgotten until they realized they had value. I sold them online, quietly, redirecting the money into a renovation fund. Next, I rewrote my will. Every asset, every savings account, every piece of property, redirected to a scholarship under my name. A scholarship for kids like me. Kids who clawed their way up alone. Then came the final step, the one they never saw coming. On my mother's birthday, I invited them all. The family who had abandoned me. The same family who had smiled through lies and posted fake toasts. They arrived curious, uneasy, their eyes darting around my perfectly polished home. I welcomed them with calm politeness, offering champagne as if nothing had happened. When everyone settled, I stood before them. "I want to thank you," I said, my voice steady, my face unreadable, "for teaching me the most important lesson of my life, that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty." They shifted uncomfortably. My sister opened her mouth, but I raised a hand. "You weren't here on the day that mattered. But don't worry. You'll never need to worry about being left out again. Because from this day forward, you're not part of my house, my plans, or my future." I slid a folder across the table. Inside were the legal papers, proof of my will, proof of the heirloom sold, proof of the scholarship fund. This house, this life, it's mine alone. You'll get nothing from me. Not a dime, not a memory, not a mention. The silence was suffocating. My father's jaw clenched. My mother's eyes darted down, glassy. My sister whispered, "You don't mean this." But I did. I leaned forward, meeting each of their eyes. You left me standing in my driveway, waiting for people who never came. Now it's your turn to wait. For calls, for invitations that will never come. I remember their faces as they left, shocked, ashamed. For once, they couldn't twist the narrative. They couldn't pretend. The revenge wasn't in anger. It wasn't in shouting or breaking ties with drama. It was in reclaiming power quietly, in letting them realize too late that they had written themselves out of my life. Now, when I walk through my house at night, I feel peace. The walls echo with my laughter alone, but it's enough. Better than enough. I think of the empty driveway that day, the untouched food, the balloons swaying in the wind, the silence that tried to break me. And I smile, because silence, I learned, can also be a weapon, and mine cut deeper than any words ever could.